Hello YouTube, and I am playing practically my favorite Link deck, and it's World Chalice. And I'm actually pretty excited because it's actually fun playing this. Also, it's not very easy to play this at all. Dude, Link spam decks can be complicated. Luckily, I've been fiddling around with this deck for quite the years now, so I have a good understanding of it. But so far, this is the list, and I'll explain my ratios. Draconnet could be cool at 3, but I think it's fine at 2, especially after we get to Fitting Room. Because I don't want to see 2 of it, so not playing the third one can help on that. And it's not my only access to a free vanilla as well. So it's just a very good normal summon. It's probably one of your best normal summons you could ever have. Rescue Rabbit, if you ever have 3, serves the same purpose and could be better because it thins the deck more, making Ningirsus draw you into the staples more likely, I guess. But so far they serve the same purpose other than that. Some people do skip on Guardragon a bit because it's the extension from the graveyard, you may only need 1. To be honest, I think people forget that it's basically a hand trap. While you do end on like a log with 2 Ibs that cannot be targeted nor destroyed, it's still nice to have this as you continue up with your follow-up play, so some of those monsters cannot be targeted. And when you do negate and destroy. And there are a handful of interruptions that you just want to avoid as well. So it's just nice to have the second one. World Chalice is so important to see. Like 2 World Chalice vanillas, and this is a full combo. And one of the replays will showcase that, and it's pretty nice. Summoning from the deck, and it can search as a good follow-up while raiding the graveyard. As it can search our only spell card that isn't a staple. Well, our only spell card that is within archetype. Legacy's Heart, which can let us return 2 World Chalice monsters with different names added into the hand, and this can include Link. Also, it also can protect a Link monster from battle, which came up once in the weirdest way possible, and I am thankful for that. I forgot it even had that effect. So, yeah, and it also can search another copy of itself, which is good in the context that it's just able to be special summoned with all of the Link's shared effect to summon World Chalice monsters from the hand. While he can search on normal summon or special summon, she's actually kind of the worst normal summon. Unless you already have a normal monster, which Fitting Room can special summon you one preemptively, or something like Unexpected Die, if you have those. As your first summon, that's kind of like a break because there's nothing to it, because you need to summon Imduk to do any plays. So it's not really important to see her, especially since World Chalice can summon it from the deck as well. So I don't think 3 copies it's that necessary. It's not like you don't need to see it. For us, the Vanilla's World Chalice you just do need to see because they actually do start your plays, and also extension. Now, for the reason why we're not playing Ningirsu on our vanilla lineup is because it's not special summonable by the means that we have. It will be useful. You can play it if you play Rescue Rabbit instead, but since I'm playing Exchanging Fitting Room, the effect is that I can excavate 4 cards from the top of my deck and special summon level 3 or lower normal monsters among them. And yes, among them. Among us. So yeah, we can summon more than 1 if we get to excavate more than 1, which is nice. And sometimes just 1 free summon, it's all you need if you have enough extension. Basically, like, able to get a free vanilla, whether it's Draconnet, whether it's this, and you can still do plays, especially if you have between World Chalice and Lee. Like, it can help. Like, seeing the vanillas matters a lot. Econ has a lot of good synergies and a lot of good, it's just very good. But there's a lot of ways that you can use this as a board breaker, and it's just amazing. Especially since you can link them off. I see enemy controller it's just a huge buff for Link decks, and it's just insane. As for the Link monsters, Imduk is importing. It is our place starter of Link monsters. Additionally, almost so many World Chalice you needed. Then we have Ib, which allows us to do the lock first turn and protection, and is also able to protect Ningirsu when it ever would try where it to destroy a battle or card effect. You can send this instead, and that's pretty nice because having Ningirsu survive is like it's the biggest attack monster you have. Sadly, the 25 threshold is back, and then there's Auram, which can tribute a world chalice monster it points to special summon any other monster in the graveyard, and like any other. So it could even special summon that honeybot that we are getting annoyingly because I can't do proper test hands against NPC now with the skill that I'm using. And yes, the skill we're using is actually monster move, and this is the skill to go with. Because the idea is that when you summon Ib, you don't have to get out of your way to try and have an Ib in the main monster zone. You can just use the skill, move it down, and then you can just summon the other Ib next to her. And that way you can have two Ibs pointing at each other without doing any extra hassle. And then we have Ningirsu, which is just one of the best forms of removal in the game. It's non-targeting removal, and you can do crazy shenanigans with enemy controller and Ningirsu, dude. Like, a lot of removal you can do with him. Essentially, you can use his effect. He doesn't target, so after using his effect, they're not gonna know what you're gonna attempt because it's cast or resolve. So you're gonna chain. Enemy controller. You would tribute another monster, usually just the one non-link that would be on the field at the time, and it would have been like the usual sent to graveyard normally, because like a fodder monster. But then you can just send that monster anyway with enemy controller, so you can take one of their monsters, and that way you can send away that monster with Ningirsu and whatever other card they have. So you're removing a lot. And that's only like and that's not even, you're not even sending, you can just also send the enemy controller and keep the monster for material or just to kill them. Which is probably like your best bet to get over big monsters, is to see enemy controller. But since Ningirsu can draw you at most 2 because of the zones placements. Fun fact, no monster can link to 2. Well, not. So far, it's gonna be impossible to have any link monster pointing 3 monsters. It's almost impossible at this point. You need specific arrow placements. That is gonna be bizarre. But yeah, removal. Also, the removal. It's not once per turn, so you can link it away into Auram, and he can still, like all the others, extend the World Chalice from the hand, and you tribute that World Chalice with Auram to bring him back, and then do the removal again if you need it. So, yeah, you can do that. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah. No. At the very least, for some reason, Auram's effect to summon from grave is hard once per turn. But not Ningirsu. Ningirsu's effect is not. And it's interesting. So that's practically a breakdown of what the deck does, and I have some interesting replays for you guys to watch. I know I haven't been doing anything for a while. I do have a job, but it's just not so motivated. It's just like low traction can really demotivate, and I don't know. I just honestly don't feel like I have a place in this platform or anything else like that. I'm just doing this out of hobby and just because of like practically boredom as well. Anyway, enough of my rambling. Just hope you guys enjoy the replays and enjoy this deck. I really like it. See you guys later.
Let's do it!